A few years ago, I sat in a doctor's office and heard words that didn't seem real. It's not going to get any better. You have heart failure. I was healed by a miracle, Jesus and Jelly Roll.
Andy Atkinson, welcome to Terminal. You are my very first miracle healing story to feature on the podcast. Jelly Roll, Jesus, those are major parts of your healing story. And when I heard about your story, I knew I had to talk to you. And when I reached out to you, truly gracious you were to accept my invitation to come on and chat about what happened to you. Before you got where you were, maybe tell us about your childhood, faith background, and kind of where your career was before your health took a dive.
First, thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share this. I'm excited, and I think I have a calling to help others just unlock something in themselves. I grew up we lived in Houston, Texas for a while, 14 years, and then moved to Boise, Idaho. I'm a grandfather of 3, and I have 3 kids, and they're all amazing, and we are so fortunate. I work at Boise State University in athletics. I've been there for 19 years, done the field headset communication for coaches for 18 years. So that's awesome. And as far as, I grew up, I knew who God was, but didn't have a relationship. That's the best way to put it. And as things grew, I just found that life with Jesus was better. I've tried it all different ways. I've always been a man with a huge heart and could talk to anyone and just have fun and friends of all kinds. It didn't matter. I just loved everyone, right? But I had no idea what could be until this happened, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So take us to what happened. Where was your life when your health turned? And tell us about that day when you realized things were not good.
So get this. I was almost vegan, but plant and vegetables because I wanted to check out. I'd watched The Game Changer, right? And I'm like, there's something there about meat and dairy and inflammation, right? And so I tried it and I felt amazing. So I'd been doing that for probably 3 or 4 years and was in amazing shape. And actually doctors told me that probably saved my life.
Oh, really?
Being healthy, working out, working in an athletic department, being around driven people. I was in good shape and healthy, and probably the last person you would think that this would happen to. And then I got this cough, and it was kind of cold season, so everyone kind of got the cough, and I'd always kind of battled through, and my cough didn't go away. It was persistent, and then it ended up, and I started losing weight, more so, and I'm like, this diet's working good, It's like, and I just got super skinny and kind of just looked older than I was.
Was your family worried about you?
Yeah, they're like, you got to go. Go to the doctor, get checked out. And I said, I will. I couldn't speak without coughing because I had stuff in my lungs. I couldn't walk across the football field without stopping halfway. And I remember multiple times pretending to check my phone because I didn't want anybody to know that my legs were so tired and I needed just to rest. So yeah, it was cough, wouldn't go away. We ended up on a trip to Las Vegas where we were celebrating my son's 21st birthday. Parents of the year, I know. My daughter flew in. She lives in DC. She flew in and she's a nurse. And she goes, Dad, you have got to she gave me a long list of stuff to get checked out ASAP. And I said, yeah, I will. I'm thinking it's pneumonia. I'll get some antibiotics. We'll be good. I just, yeah, I've always powered through things. Um, you got to be tough as a man. It's like, it'll go away. It'll get better.
So when you went to the doctor, what did they figure out, and what were they concerned about with you?
Well, originally I'd gone to the doctor. I went down just to the primary health, like the quick, get a chest x-ray because I knew it was like pneumonia. So they said they did a chest x-ray. Yep. No, you have pneumonia. So they gave me antibiotics. Well, 3 days later, I can barely lay down. I can't lay down and sleep. I couldn't breathe. It felt like I was just on the bottom of a huge dog pile. It was like my wife, Jen, is like, we're going to the ER now. And so we went, and it was probably 9 hours of tests, and we don't know what's going on. We can't find anything. Let's do this one last test, the echocardiogram, to check something out, your ejection fraction of your heart. And when they came back and they said, well, the results of that test aren't good. You have heart failure. And it's, yeah, heart failure. I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They said, let's put it this way. You're in bad shape. We measure an ejection fraction with an echocardiogram, and a normal ejection fraction is 50 to 70%. Below 45 is heart failure. Below 35, they want to implant a defibrillator into your chest. 15 to 20 is hospice, and yours, Mr. Atkinson, you're at 7%. And I'm like, what? But they were more concerned, like, how did you walk in here? Did you walk in here? We don't see this every day. So I'm not sure I've ever seen this. Somebody just walk in. And I'm like, that's cool. I gotta go mow the lawn tonight. Are we gonna
Oh my
but,
gosh.
but are we done? Almost done? And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Um,
Did they give you like a prognosis what that looked like if you didn't do anything?
uh, no, they just said we need to get the liquids off your chest ASAP right now. So they did that. I mean, the prognosis,
Like, did they? Yeah, I'm wondering if they ever told you, like, if you leave here,
yeah.
there's a chance you're not coming back.
I mean, yeah, they basically said that we need to admit you right now and get this fluid off your chest, right?
Yeah.
And so, I had 11 pounds of fluid in there, like 11.
Oh my gosh. So, and there was no indicator, like before you got that cough, you were living a very healthy lifestyle, right?
Totally.
There was nothing that was indicating that maybe your heart was taking.
I mean, I used to run a lot. I was working out like 3 times a week, strength training, walking a ton, and then eating extremely well. Like on game days, we'd walk like 23,000 steps. And the way my wife or my daughter put it, she goes, your stuff was shutting down. Like she would listen to me sleep or breathe, and she was really concerned. So that's,
Wow. All right. So you're at the hospital, you're getting help. What happened after that?
so it was 3 days, and everyone's saying, do you need to walk? Do you need to put your bed downstairs? Is your bed upstairs? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't, whatever. It was really confusing in my mind, right? What going on? Um,
Were they trying to kind of treat you like you're you need to go home and be on hospice type thing?
yeah, yeah. Like almost, how did you walk in? As
Yeah. Yeah.
they were just mind blown that I just walked in. 3 days later, they sent me home, and the protocol was they gave me all these medications, a lot of them from the fast talking commercials that are super funny, that I could talk about a little bit, but I won't. Um, and then echocardiograms every 3 months to check for improvement or decline, right? Work was awesome. Boise State was amazing. I have all these sick hours, and they're like, dude, take whatever you need, you know? So it was a good 3 weeks off. And then finally I decided I wanted to go try and go in. And so I started working half days, super exhausted still, on all these meds, waiting. Oh, I need to go back and say I was sent home with this shock bra, uh, jog bra that with this big battery that would shock my heart when it stopped or shifted rhythm, a different rhythm. So yeah, I'm just at home going, wow, this is interesting. Like, hopefully these meds will work, you know? So my first echocardiogram, 3 months in, gets to 13%. And I'm like, sweet, we're going somewhere. As long as it's going up, it'll get there, positive dude. And then the next two the next 6 month span, it didn't improve past 19%, and actually declined a little bit on the last one. And that's when they said, you know, we've got all this data, and actually one cardiologist walks out and two come in to talk to me. So that's all like, okay, what's going on
Oh
here?
yeah, something serious.
So we've got all this data. You need to schedule this defibrillator to be put in, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I will or not. And they're like, what? It's like you need to. Um, but when they tell me it's not going to get any better, um, all this data, you've been on medications for so long, and with this type of failure, heart failure, it tends to worsen over time, right? It doesn't rebuild, um, and it should be improved more than it is now, being on all these. And so they told me it's not going to get any better. Um, you need to you live a stress free life, get your affairs in order. I'm like, so what does that mean? It's like, well, you could live another 4 years, but I would just start getting your affairs in order. And I mean, they actually said that, and so it's like, okay. So I had ridden a motorcycle out there. I met my wife out there, and I remember in that walking out of that when they said it's not going to get any better. I told my wife walking out, I said, well, guess I don't have to wear a motorcycle helmet now.
Wow.
Lost it. Like, that's the wrong thing to say, but that's kind of what, well, it is what it is.
If I'm going to go, I'm going to go. Like that kind of attitude.
Right. And
Yeah.
so,
So you kind of accepted what they said in that moment.
well, I don't think I fully processed it. It was like, that was crappy news. That was not good news, because in my mind, I've always been positive. It's going to get better. Let's do this. It'll get there. We'll get there. Um, so yeah, when they said that, I think the stages of grief set in. It was probably a week later, and I'm laying around, and I'm like, after that, you're thinking, gosh, this is my new life. This is my new meaning. This is my accepted meaning of someone else's story, right? It's like,
Yeah.
not much I can do about that. And then I'm just laying there, and it's my kids both flew home. I think my son was home from college and my daughter from DC visiting, right? And I had zero energy. I had zero. It was the strangest thing. Normally, when they're back, it's an amazing weekend, and I love joking and having fun. And we'd go. I don't drink anymore. I'll tell you about that here in a little bit, but it's just a great time with kids, right? And I don't care. It's like I'm in bed. I'm on my third day in Netflix in the dark. I'm just laying there, no energy, no passion, no hope. My wife walks upstairs and she comes close to me and gives me this big hug, and she whispers, "Promise me you won't give up." And I'm like, "Yeah, wait, what? Wow." I didn't think it was that bad, or you know, obviously 7% is much worse than 19%, but I think I can't speak for it, but if I were to say that when people get near end of life and they just are done, they give up, maybe I was going that way. I don't know. I was just in a bad way.
We put so much trust in doctors. They have been to school, they've done the walk, they've got the data, they've seen a lot of patients, they know what they're looking at. And so when a doctor hands you, like, you got 4 years, dude, like, if you're lucky, right? It makes perfect sense why maybe you would resolve and go, I'm tired. I feel like I feel terrible. This is it. And to have your wife come in and like verbally recognize it, I'm sure that was shocking, especially because I'm going to just take a big guess here. That's not you,
Mm.
right? You're the guy that's on the field. Yeah. Be in the light of the party, I am sure, all the time.
I typically have endless energy. In fact, when kind of eating right and whole foods, and
Yeah.
son, I remember a time earlier when he came home and he's like, dude, what's up with dad? He's got all this energy, you know? And
Yeah.
that's the way I was and am now, but it was gone. It was gone. It
Yeah.
was, and I can't, it could have been 4 years. It could have been five. It could have been, who knows?
Yeah. I can imagine the weight of that just felt really, really heavy. So what happened after she said that to you? What changed?
So I'm laying there I'm like, she leaves and I'm downstairs listening to my kids and I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, what does all this mean? And I'm thinking, and what I really started thinking about was my kids down there talking about me, like around a gathering or a table, and them saying, well, dad used to, or when dad was here, or like past tense. And I'm like, that, that killed me. Um, so I'm like, so I'm like sitting there, tear coming down, and I'm just, wait a minute. If our minds, and I'm just thinking, what if our minds can make us sick, maybe our minds can heal. And I'm like, you know, Jesus, help a brother out, man. What do we do? What are we doing? And it wasn't as if I heard him. And like I said, I'd been the, my relationship with him, what I thought was strong. It was just, the more you read and kind of get into the Bible, and the more things kind of make sense, and my relationship has grown. But I had no idea. So when I said help a brother out, it was like, dude, it was like boom. And it wasn't a voice that's like, I didn't hear it scream. I felt clarity in my heart. Like, it was like, boom, if our minds can make us sick, they can heal. And I just had some clarity on let's do something about this. I just immediately started researching and reading and writing and listening to everything about the power of your mind, and how our minds can heal, and thought, and Joe Dispenza, his books about thought and your mind, and digging into Jesus more, like in scripture and word. And I'll be the first. I don't know where verses are. I don't know who said it, but I'll remember. And I feel like a rookie when it comes to that. I've been doing it a while, but I remember a feeling and what it taught me in that moment. But it's like, I it's hard to explain, because when you think about the power of your mind and science and blending that with faith, but it was all clear to me. I used Joe Dispenza and faith, and I don't know if those are the same, but to me it was obviously that was the same. It was almost like, you need to use this power of your mind, science, neuroplasticity, all of this, solfeggio frequencies, through this to heal and make it right. And obviously some Jelly Roll music kept me in it. And
when you look back at that moment, and because it was such a powerful moment, do you feel like it was the spiritual? Do you feel like it was maybe your bigger, some people refer to it as higher self, just knowledge? Do you feel like your consciousness was opened up in that moment? Like, do you feel like you were receiving divine information in that moment?
it was 100% yes, clarity. When you question things in life, and this has always kind of happened to me, it takes me a little bit, if there's something you need to process, pray it up, give it up, and then it's obvious the next day or in 2 days, or it's answered or unanswered. It was just clarity. Like, oh, let's go. And it's almost like I didn't even think about it. It was like, here, do this. And so in that moment, like when I'm thinking, really, I need to back up a little bit, because when I said, Jesus, help a brother out, he gave me clarity. And I literally started feeling this energy that said, it was a different energy, clarity, that feeling of I don't have the words to explain, in our language maybe. Um, but I sat up and I said, F this. I did. I'm going to do something about this. So that's when I dug into all of that. And what I did was dug in, read, wrote everything about the power of your mind every single night. And then I started journaling. And I don't know where journaling came from, but I'm like, I was just led through some clarity, like to start writing. And it was, I feel like shit. What am I doing here? Done. But I kept doing that. And that led to having gratitude, giving gratitude for what had already happened. I'd write every single night. I am so grateful for this healthy heart, this strong ejection fraction, and my healing. Thank you, Jesus. And then I'd write over and over and over. And then, of course, I would do what everybody does, JRM, the Jelly Roll meditation.
I promise to only interrupt this conversation for just a short moment. I invite you to take a moment and reflect if the stories shared on Terminal are inspiring you to live more intentionally. And if they are, you can support this channel in a big way by hitting that subscribe button. This mission to bring hope at the edge of life is far bigger than you and me. You can also visit hopeterminal.com to find ways to contribute or get involved. Also, if you are feeling a nudge to share your story, we are always seeking inspiring guests. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Now let's get back to today's guest. Please tell me about this Jelly Roll meditation. Where did this come from?
I don't know. So Jelly Roll so I quit drinking like 9.5 years ago. So his lyrics, I've since 2017 or 18, his lyrics of his music, and used to be a rapper, right? And it was just real and painful and so good. Just spoke to me. I would listen to Jelly Roll bumping in the shower after I wrote. Mm, mm, mm. And I would stay in it. And just, I have this huge speaker. I got to the point where I have a cologne shelf, right? It was bumping things off the shelf. It was like bass, and we have a window.
I love this.
Window upstairs, and I'm like screaming. It's 10 o'clock at night, screaming out the window. I ended up getting a tattoo, but I'm like just jamming with my hands in the air, gratitude, just thumping bass, bumping it with Jelly Roll every night. So I called that JRM. And there's a little bit of walking, a little bit of meditation in there, prayer, but mostly that dude kept me in it.
His lyrics really are so powerful. Oh gosh, what song is it? I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real fast because I have to call out what the song is. Oh, Winning Streak. Duh. When I heard that song, I was like right in the middle of betrayal, trauma, addiction recovery. My husband was going through pornography addiction recovery. Right. And so I hear this song and I'm like, I love addicts everywhere. Right. It was the best song. So, I absolutely, I am so touched, and I hear on the caliber of what you're saying, like Jelly Roll's lyrics speak to you, because I've had my own little experience as far as it really moved me.
At first it's some of his older stuff is painful, but it's like painful. It's real life. But it kept me like, yeah, dude, we're going through some shit, and then, but let's go. Let's keep going. So I used that in, I would start journaling. And
And
then
were you journaling like multiple times a day, just once a day? This wasn't taking over your life, right? Like this was just part of your life that you incorporated.
I just made it every single night, no matter how tired I was, because I remember riding, we went to the rodeo, like, and that was a big deal for me to go to the rodeo that's like 20 miles away and sit there all night and so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Come home and it's 11 o'clock at night, but I still wrote, I had, I had a part of a corn dog and, I'm like, that's the way
Yeah.
I wrote. But every single night for like 45 minutes. And I made sure that I was super disciplined to give gratitude and healing for my heart. I didn't mix in a ranch or a new truck,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like so purposeful. I gave it purpose. And so what happened was I kept doing that every single night and jamming JRM, right? The next echocardiogram, I go from like 18, right? 18%, boom, to 33%. And I'm like, dude, let's go. Okay. Now, okay. And that's exactly what I said to Jen. I came out of the shower one night and I'm like, dude, this is working. I'm gonna meet that guy one of these days. I'm gonna meet Jelly Roll and shake his hand and say thank you. Um, but then so 33%. So I'm like, okay, let's double down on this. Let's go. Um, so another clarity piece, right? I was led to use I am that I am. Um, book of Exodus, and it's basically God's interaction with Moses. And this is where the struggle I had early on was using it to, okay, is this manifestation? Is this prayer? Is this science? Is this, I don't know. I don't care. Like, okay, I was just like, I got to use this. So I used I am that I am. I am to announce the power of Jesus within me. No question. I am, you know, that what I wanted, a strong heart. I am that. I need this strong heart. I want this strong heart. I want this normal ejection fraction. And then the second I am to giving gratitude for that answered prayer like it's already happened. And I am that I am. So I would start writing that every single night. And I am that I am. I am so grateful. Thank you, Jesus. I am so grateful for this healing. Boom. In the shower, like jamming and screaming. I started writing, declaring 45%, right? So it was 30%, and I wanted 45% because that's the cutoff for heart failure. So 3 months of jamming a jelly roll, writing I am that I am, that was obviously given to me, through some clarity. And so, like I said before, it was hard for me to like, who am I to use? This is a big deal. I can't do this. Like, but it became so apparent to me that Jesus wants me to use this. He wants me to be powerful. He wants me to have those limited power. It's so I struggled with having that authority. Like, what am I doing?
I don't want to overshadow your experience at all. As you're talking about this, I had my own experience one time of how I got this clarity totally random, like a random part of a day, but it was through my own healing journey. I was going through some stuff with my husband and just working through some stuff. And I remember having the thought, I am God and God is me. And I literally like looked around like this, like, did somebody just hear my thought? Because who the hell am I
Right.
to think that?
Yeah.
And so I'm remembering that moment and how I've come to understand that phrase a lot deeper now. And so thank you for sharing it, because every time I reflect on it, it feels really important to know. It feels special. So I want to keep hearing about this I am that you were gifted and understand.
It was so like I said, it was hard to use at first because I didn't think I had the authority and or I wasn't worthy of that. But it became super clear to me that as I wrote, yes, use it, use it.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to declare 45%. I am that I am. I have a strong heart. I have 45% ejection fraction. I am so grateful for this 45% over and over and over every single night. And I just hammered on the 45%, right? So about a month and a half in, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling better. I feel this energy. I feel this. I felt as if this stuff's working, no question, dude. And then that's again when I said, Jen, I'm going to meet him one of these days and just say thank you, hug, because that's all I need. I just want him to know that Jesus was working through him, and we're all connected. And what a cool thing! And God, that gets me a little emotional. But like writing 45%, I feel so good, feel better, and it was about that time where I'm like, dude, whatever they tell me, I don't care because I just feel good, and it really didn't matter what their test told me because I knew, I just knew.
Mhm. Yeah, like you had resolved, like I'm healed. Like I don't
I don't
need
even
your
need to go.
numbers.
I don't even need to
Yeah.
go. You know,
Yeah.
of course, my
Yeah.
wife makes me go, but
Yeah, of course. She needs the confirmation here.
so the echo is coming up. I send out this text the day before the echocardiogram to my family, and I said, "Hey, tomorrow's my big 45 test. 45. It's going to be 45%, and no question, unwavering belief. Just let y'all know." And my two oldest are in the health profession, right? And they're like, I could just see them like, okay, yeah, because they've talked to me before about it, and they were really, really concerned, and yeah, but they're like, we believe in you. I just told them it's going to be 45. So I get my grandpa farms Lucky Pearl Snap shirt on, and I'm like, I go in, but they do the test, and the next day they call, and the cardiologist calls, and she goes, I'll tell you what, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. In fact, you're going to have to share with me what you're doing. Yeah. We
Wow.
amazing results this time. And I already knew what she was going to say, but she goes, just amazing results. Your ejection fraction is 45%. And I said, I know. And she goes, what? Never mind. And it just, she almost gives me the chills every time I think of something.
How did your wife react? How did your kids react? I mean, what was the response from your loved ones?
Well, it was, of course, my two oldest were like, I told you, I knew it. Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool to watch. I mean, to watch have my kids go through that. And actually, it took me a while to like, wait, what just happened? Did I create that? Did we just write a new story? Did we what? They were so in awe and shocked, and as was everybody that where I told this, they're like, wow. And if I do a good job of telling it, like people get chills when I've told people, they're like, whoa, that gives me chills. That is so cool. That just shows me it's like anything's possible, anything. And when your parents tell you that, or whoever, regardless of your childhood traumas, it's like our thoughts, our mind, our intentions. Jesus, we can do anything. If I really wanted to do something, it's just a matter of the amount of energy that I want to commit to that. I truly believe that. And it was cool for my kids to witness that. And still, I probably to this day don't give myself enough credit, or even because all of it goes to God and Jesus, like for sure, because like I said, I've always been half or glass half full, positive, like kind of an energy like that could bring people together, but no idea what could happen, what can happen when we just commit some energy to it. So yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. And, you said something earlier that I think we all can relate to, especially when you were talking about the I am that I am and that you didn't feel worthy.
yeah,
Can you speak specifically to somebody who does not feel worthy, that maybe they don't think God will heal them because maybe they did XYZ, so they don't feel worthy? Do you think that they have the power to heal themselves like you did?
100%. Yeah, my story is pretty cool and powerful, but it's not like a brain tumor or some of the other things that people go through that, I mean, I don't think you can compare either. Uh, I think, yes, we're all worthy. It's amazing. We're all worthy of love. We're all love. Whether we know that what's going on right now, it's like we're all connected. And I think the more I think about, the more I pray, the more that opens up for me, the more I receive downloads or whatever you want to clarity, whatever you want to call it is dude, it's God and Jesus. The love that I feel is amazing, and everyone gets to experience that, and everyone's worthy. And I think honestly, I have a calling to help someone maybe that was in my situation, whatever their circumstance is, to take something from my story and what I've said to help them unlock something in their lives and what's going on right now. For a long time, I didn't think I was worthy. I was always a good person, good heart, but we've all made mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're human. We're going to continue to make mistakes. Okay. We're a work in progress. I think, I think Jesus wasn't waiting for me to be perfect. He was just waiting for me to be honest. And if I can touch or reach one person, that needs to hear that, maybe they can get past what's going on in their mind and they can receive that love because he's just waiting.
Yeah. Your message is so powerful. And have you had a chance to meet Jelly Roll through all this?
Yeah. So the first time we saw him, that was after like right at the 45, right? We saw him. We just went to his concert it was a music festival in Boise. It was hot. It was August. I'm like, dude, I'm so excited. I know all the words. It's going to be JRM on steroids because he's going to be right there, you know? And we go general admission seats and he gets going. And the second song in, something crazy happened. I started shaking. I was videoing and I started bawling so hard, like crying. And everyone disappeared and the sky kind of turned a little purple and it was him and I. It was almost like I was up there with him and it was thinking that, like it was it was dusty and hot, but I smelled like mountain pine trees, the fresh rain from it was the most crazy euphoric Holy Spirit moment because it was all coming together, right? I don't have the words or the words in my language, to speak to that because I don't know how to explain what happened.
Yeah.
It was everything was slow motion, clouds like it disappeared, and it was just me. So, and I think at the time I was giving him okay, that dude saved my life. Fast forward 6 months or 8 months, we see him again. I expect the same thing, right? I brought tissues. I told everybody, hey, this is going to get ugly. We're going to cry a little bit, a little ugly cry. And, uh, and it wasn't that way at all. It was such a different experience. I was just a proud, I was so proud of what we had done, and I mean we, like everybody in that audit in that place, like we did this. Jesus did this within me. I was so proud of that. Jesus, dude, good job. I was just so proud of us for doing that. You know, he'll find a way. He'll meet you right where you're at, and he'll show you miracles. We just got to take the blinders off and maybe get into it a little bit with some intention. And yeah, so that was a different experience. And I told this story to some people at Boise State, and I've spoken to athletic leadership and some people on campus. So they wanted to write an article about this. So they wrote an article about this,
Mhm.
and just basically the way I use Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, about the same time, just announced like he was coming to Boise, and actually it was a little before that. So I think that's what prompted this article, right? But it was a killer article that basically told my story in a really cool way. Jelly Roll read that article. He kicked it over to his crew and he said, I got to meet this guy. I got to meet this guy. And I'm
Oh
like, whoa.
my goodness. What was that like? Oh my gosh, he wanted to meet you.
I remember on May 23rd, which is my wife and I's anniversary, I got an email from um, his management crew saying, hey, Jelly Roll read your stuff. He wants to meet you. Set it all up. So they were coming to a show with Post Malone at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho, right? He wants you before the show to meet you, and he would love nothing more because in the article it was like, I would just love to shake his hand and say thank you. He would love to shake your hand. He would be honored to shake your hand. Oh, and by the way, he's a hugger. I flew my daughter in. It was because she was a big part of this. We went. It was just so cool to when I stepped out of the shower and said, dude, Jen, this is working. I cannot wait. I'm going to meet that guy one of these days and say thank you, his hand. And he was so honored and so polite. And he hugged me so many times, told me he loved me. And is like, your story is so inspirational. And it's really cool to hear from someone who did the same for you. It just shows you're connected, right? And obviously he may have to say some of that stuff, right? But I think he was truly touched by, I think I used his music in a different way. It was inspiring to him, and he wasn't afraid to tell me that. He took his hat off every time that he went in for a hug. He was so polite. It was just the coolest thing ever. And I had him sign. So I had this JRM, and that just reminds me the JRM part, is like, not that it's specifically Jelly Roll or that, it just reminds me of that whole process of what our minds can do, what Jesus can do, how we can unlock, we can change the story. Um, so I had him sign that in Sharpie, and so then I went and had it tattooed on, and
I love that so much. And celebrity or not, I think we all come here. What soul doesn't want to make a difference,
yeah,
right? And even at his caliber, sometimes I would imagine that's actually maybe more noisy being at that level
right.
because you don't know what's genuine and what's not. But to hear your story and hear that you were healed by the power of his music, like it had to have been also healing for him. Like the transformations that he's gone through the past couple of years have been remarkable and inspiring. As you were just showing me your tattoo, I just saw these like the different acronym that Jesus real miracles. Like that this is real.
Yeah,
This is real for
totally.
you. And I witness it. I see your story, I hear your story, and it's a true miracle. And I think a lot of times with the word miracle, we like expect it to be instant, but yours was not instant at all. But it is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I think, in thinking back, all this. Oh, I have this too. So
Oh, that's amazing. I love tattoos with deep meaning like that.
yeah.
I love it.
So
I am that I am.
my relationship. and that is with Jesus is maybe different than others,
Yeah.
and it's all good. He doesn't care, and it's through some clarity. And I still, like I said, every now and then I'll f bomb. Sorry, Lord, I'm working on it. You know, and but it's so clear to me that it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he knows what's in my heart. He knows that I give like no other. I help. I help everybody. It's you know not that you need to or you need to earn anything, but it was so apparent to me that it doesn't matter. He's going to take you, and he'll dig in. All you need to do is ask and start that relationship because, like I said, I've been through all different kinds of walks in my life, and it just works better with Jesus. And that's what started this relationship with him. It's like, okay, I, I can get into this.
Yeah. Do you feel like, from just hearing your perspective, do you feel like having that relationship with Jesus has to fit in a religious framework?
No, we go to church, but it's way more than a building, or and you'd go listen to Jelly Roll's song "Church." I don't know if you've ever heard that, but
I, I
it talks
probably
about,
have heard it.
oh, it's dude, talk about, and you have to listen to it a little bit, but cry, I'll bawl because and I'll scream the lyrics on my way to work. It's like he brings one to the Chevrolet, and when you listen to it, it's about judgment and being judged by others, and you don't have to be in a church. He'll bring that to your Chevrolet. Um,
Yeah. Love
yeah,
that. Love that.
it's
So, and I love when you talk about it and how much I can feel how much it means to you. It's palpable. It's really cool.
yeah.
It's
Thank you.
really cool. Yeah. I think when we look at your story, you know, you did certain things. If I could take in 1 minute, what were the checklist things that you did that helped you in this to bring this healing about? I mean, we heard the long version, but if you were to like tell somebody, I know this would help, I know this would help, and I know this would help based on my experience, what would you share with somebody?
This is going to sound weird. I would say make life meaningless. Make life meaningless. Find your Jesus. Find your Jelly Roll.
What does that mean?
That means we all assign meaning, whether consciously or subconsciously. We have meanings to or labels assigned to us. Diagnosis is, you know what? We don't have to accept those, you know? So I think that's a hard thing for me to explain, but I try to make life meaningless. This just because someone tells you something, that doesn't mean this, or doctors tell you something, it doesn't mean that. My new assigned meaning was pretty shitty. It was like, well, this. So I try to make life meaningless, and we don't have to accept labels that people give us. We don't, whether it's our own minds that are just, you know, trying to remind us of things that we've been through or traumas or you know, we don't have to accept diagnoses. And I'm not saying I'm like the all knowing, but if someone can take something from what I've said or my story and apply it somewhere in their life, then that's really all I want.
Yeah. Well, and I think they totally can. That you have a lot to offer, and if somebody is sitting there in a similar position, the outlook looks terrible. What hope would you offer them? What words of encouragement would you give them?
I would say what happened yesterday or your last game or your stat or anything is not your identity. And you can do this and find that connection, find those tools, allow yourself to receive them because they're there. It's going to work. I mean, who would have thought that a rapper would like a old rap style would affect my life this much. And you don't have to accept that narrative. You don't. Yeah.
Do you believe miracles are real?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. One of my buddies, I told him this story, who I hadn't seen forever, and he was like chills and crying, and he's a man of God, and he's like, dude, what are you gonna do with that nugget? And I'm like, my purpose is to be useful. It's useful. If any part of this story can help somebody, that's all I want. Because it won't be for everybody. I won't be talking to everybody, but it will be for someone. And the miracle isn't the numbers and the percentages, the 45. It was the relationship. It wasn't about me in the first place. It was about the relationship. And we're all going to go through that storm. That's what he's going to use. That's the miracle right there.
Dog, brother. Oh, man. I love you. Your story meant so much to me. I read that article. It just touched my soul.